Well, it's been a pretty good year so far, and I plan on keeping up the momentum. Normally, I save these life update videos for the half year and full year, but there's a lot that will change between now and then. So for now, I'm making a quick video sharing my objectives for the rest of the year, as well as some accomplishments I've already made. So starting off with the career, I doubt much will change honestly, since I already have all my studies done. There's nothing to progress on that front. There does exist some other qualifications for my career path. However, the return on investment is simply not worth it. Example, getting my CFA or CTA. Plus, I spent 9 years in post-high school study. I think that's enough. The learning never stops, of course, but in terms of formal education, job's finished. For my actual job, still making those slight career improvements, although with the current job market and economy, I'm not expecting much progress to happen here. I'm doubtful of a pay raise come end of financial year due to company performance. I'm aware that it never hurts to negotiate and ask, but if you knew all the circumstances of my situation, you'd understand my perspective. If I start pushing it, it could cause some issues that I'd rather not deal with right now. So, potentially stagnant salary for the first time in my professional career. But considering all the layoffs going on right now, I'm just happy to have a job, and a good one at that. I could be getting paid more due to my qualifications and experience. I could have some work from home privileges, but again, still better than being unemployed. I do have one small 1 hour Excel tutorial / lecture that was recently hosted by CPA Australia. I watched it live, but I had trouble keeping up, so I need to go over that. I did complete an Excel course recently, but they mentioned a few things in that lecture that weren't covered by that course. So I'm going to add that to my notes and thus my professional skill set. Keeping my career stable is the current priority for the career stat. Obviously some progress would be nice, but again, many people are going backwards in their career stats in this job market, so I can't be getting too greedy. And since CPA is done, I'm just relieved to have a bit of an easier year with the career stat. And as you'll see, there's still progress pending in my life for this year, but most of it is in other stats. As for money, as mentioned, probably no raise at the office. I'm going to get one at the supermarket, depends on what the Fair Work Commission says in terms of raising the minimum wage, but that will be mostly negligible. Keeping my income stable will be more than enough in my opinion, because as I said, most people's incomes are going backwards. I have, however, made some progress in the money stat in other areas. I'll share these in a future video, but I have several new money-saving tactics to cut back on my costs even further, including some gift card hacks, using free software that I didn't know existed, shopping around, utilizing delayed payments, changes to my tax status relating to my student debt, and several others. These small tips and tricks add up, although I have blown money on some crap lately. I had to get my old laptop data recovered and that cost me $2,076. Well, I didn't have to, but it had all my old uni images on there, sentimental stuff, and I was only at uni once. In 10 years' time, I'd rather have those photos than an extra $2,000. So it stings now, and it's also an important lesson, back up your damn data. But I am keen to get this back. I generally thought this data was lost for the past few years. I don't know what prompted me to look into it recently, but yeah, it turns out the data was recoverable. It's expensive, but hey, at least I can get it back. I should receive it roughly around the time of uploading this video, maybe within a week of uploading this. And I also splurged more than $50 recently on food after I was hanging out with my friend. Obviously not something to worry about, but I could have just eaten less, but whatever. You cut back on other areas of your life so you can enjoy stuff like this. As you can see, some weeks my savings rate, excluding investments, is above 90%. Now I obviously do have a mortgage now, so it's not really a 90+% savings rate some weeks, but it goes to show that I'm getting even more efficient with saving my money. There are 4 main steps involved with your money. First, your income. How much do you make? For me, this year, the employment income is most likely going to be stagnant, but it'll be more than likely increased from investing in the brand stat, which I'll talk about later. Next, taxes. Gotta pay taxes unfortunately, but you can milk the tax code for deductions, which is what I have done. The tax office won't be happy, so I've got to get my documents ready to justify myself. Third, your expenses, which is what I've made massive cuts to so far in 2025. And then fourth, your investments, which is an area that's set for huge growth this year. So MoneyStat will improve this year, but not due to my rat race or wagey jobs most likely. As much as you want to progress, you got to realize that keeping any form of employment is a blessing in this economy.
If you have a job and you make a good salary with good benefits, be blessed. 2 years ago, I would have said no. But now, if you got a good job, you need to be fortunate and you need to be blessed and you need to say, you know what? I'm at a really good spot right now because most of Americans are on shaky ground. I'm telling you, Doge, everything, layoffs.
Be happy with your situation. And plus, it's common to have parts of your life that stagnate. Example, in 2023, my CPA studies stagnated. In 2021 and 2022, my gym progress stagnated. So in 2025, my money can stagnate, even though it's still higher than all the other years. Point is, I won't be too upset with no pay raises because at least I have money still coming in. Next area /stat, aesthetics. So the cut was going well, but recently I've had birthday dinners, parties, social outings, and not to mention lots of Easter chocolates for my wagey job. Whenever Easter chocolates are broken, which is surprisingly frequently, us wagies get to eat it, because you can't sell it if it's broken. And Easter chocolate tastes way better than regular chocolate, so no chance am I passing this up. But it's fine, if my weight stalls for a month until Easter is over, so be it. Training has been okay too. I've been really amped up to train recently, but being on lower calories and having to train after a full day of work means you're not exactly fully energized, but at least we're sticking to it. Had to miss a few sessions for social events, but it's cool. This year, there are no exam hiatuses, meaning there's more than a month of training I don't have to miss out on. But at least we've dropped from my old body weight of around 94 kilos to around 87 kilos. Still some work to do, but 20% body fat down to 16.5% is a good start. The cut will go crazy. Now, big stat here for 2025, the investor stat. So as mentioned in recent videos, I'm doing some stock trading course. Well, currently I'm partway through module 8 out of 25. Not every module has the same length, but it's a great start. It's possible that this is complete before the end of April, depending on how much I focus on that versus making more YouTube videos. Additionally, I've also found a recent indicator that shows some promise. I'm yet to fully test it, but it seems to almost predict the future direction of the stock market using global liquidity as its primary source of information. Still some testing needed, but this could be a huge tool for my stock trading journey. But that's not all that's involved with the investor stat. There's also my house. Well, guess what? It's finally being built. Finally, after all this time we've got some progress. My friend reckons the time frame is about 5 to 6 months. I was originally expecting early next year, since they say allow 9 months, but let's just see how this goes, hey. The longer they take, the more time I have to save and the longer it takes for my loan to increase in size. But also, the quicker it takes, the quicker I have my own home and the timer starts for the 12-month period in which I have to wait out before renting out rooms, or I lose my first homeowner's grant. So either situation works for me, as long as the house gets built, I win. I am considering a third-party private inspector. I was looking at one last year, decided against it, but my engineer friend who's had his own house recently said he's hired one and they found some defects. So I'll decide soon if I want one. And at the gym one night, one of my gym mates who was a former electrician said that it's probably a good idea. But my dad, who was a builder for a long time, said that it's probably not worth it. The defects they find are usually extremely minor and not really worth the cost of the private inspector. Like if some hinge is slightly incorrect, it doesn't really make a huge difference to the house, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, maybe now you need to repair it in 15 years, but guess what? Most houses need repairing in 15 years. So I'll just go with what my dad said. Chances are I don't go with a private inspector now, but when I wrote this script, I hadn't spoken to my dad about it. So just another fun thing in building a house. All these small things you got to worry about. The private inspector would cost around $3,000. At least that's what it costs for my friend. Maybe different private inspectors will cost more, but it is cheap compared to the cost of the house. I did also recently spend $2,000 for some images from uni, so I shouldn't really cheap out on $3,000, but some inspectors also just make up stuff to make it look like that it was worth your money. Because if they come back and say nothing was wrong, you're like, well, why did I spend money on you? You know what I mean? Also, there's warranties and insurances from the home builder and the contractors, so really, I should be fine. Additionally, with my house, at this point in time, the value of my home should be at least $665,000, as that's basically the cost of the home build plus my land value. Based on real estate market trends, we've already hit a bottom in real estate in this area. So a value of at least $665,000, honestly, it'll likely be more. And my loan amount will be around $410,000 by the time this house is built. It's $194,000 right now, but when you add on all the stages of my construction loan, right now it's at $413,000. So $665,000 and a $410,000 loan means I have $122,000 of usable equity in the house. Usable equity is calculated by 80% of the home value minus the loan. This usable equity can be used for another house. I basically have a $122,000 additional down payment on standby for a second property once my house is built. Insane. There's more to it, such as extra loan serviceability, but just having the option of that is wild. Chances are I don't use it until I have rental income. Also, check this. So, my mortgage repayments at the current interest rates will work out to be around $560 a week, and chances are they're only headed lower in Australia, despite the fact inflation's probably going to tick back up. Meanwhile, standard rent in this area, about $270 a room. With 3 spare bedrooms, that's $810 a week in rent. So my rental income for renting out the other bedrooms in my house will more than cover my mortgage. So once that's underway, I'll look at property too. Because by then, I'll have zero issues getting the next loan from the bank because of the rental income at my main house. This also doesn't consider the depreciation benefits I get from my house, since it's partially used as an investment, but I'll talk more on that in another time. Point is, my house, my second greatest investment behind my investment in my education / myself, is well underway. This will slingshot me way ahead in about 2 to 3 years' time. You'll see. There's also a fantastic buy the dip opportunity in the markets for 2025 too. I'll save up enough in my offset account to the point where I feel comfortable, then I'll start deploying my money into the markets. So 2025 will be a good year for the investor stat, since my house will be built and my stock trading will be taken to the next level. And last stat, brand. Now my channel has slumped recently, which is to be expected, but aside from this, the brand stat is going well because I've found some softwares that will allow my brand to grow further at a lower cost. Clipchamp or DaVinci Resolve will replace Premiere Pro when my subscription ends, saving me $400 plus for the year. Photopea is an online image editor, so I'll play around with this to save costs on thumbnails. I'll still use my guys from time to time, but I can't justify the costs on thumbnails with the channel slump right now. Yeah, I do have money flowing from my 2 jobs, but with my mortgage now, you can never be too careful. I also came up with the idea to start a consulting sort of side hustle, completely unrelated to this brand. Haven't done much with it yet, but I've kind of started it, like I've got the name and the logos and stuff, and I'll work on it as the year progresses. So there's basically an outline of what's to come for the rest of the year. The main points are keeping the career / money thing going. Don't worry about raises since at least you're still employed. Keep finding those money-saving hacks, keep the cut going in the gym, finish the stock trading course, keep an eye on the home build, and keep learning stuff that can be applicable to your business ideas. What have you achieved with the year so far? What are your goals for the rest of the year? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. That is all.